behalf of the End Vaccine Apartheid New York City campaign. We are a component of the People's Vaccine Alliance, which is a global organization of civil society groups that are arguing to end vaccine apartheid that's happening during the pandemic all around the world. This is a system where rich Western countries are able to make available to their people COVID-19 tests, vaccines, and treatments, but that's not possible in lower income countries, particularly in the global south. We're participating in a global days of action in the run-up to the World Trade Organization annual Ministerial Conference that opens this coming Sunday in Geneva. At this conference, the World Trade Organization will be considering proposals to end vaccine apartheid. However, there are 5 countries that are standing in the way of making that happen. Those 5 countries are Switzerland, the European Union, the United Kingdom, Germany, and the United States. So today we are visiting the UN missions of those 5 countries to drop off letters to their ambassadors to pass on to their national governments. And we have the letter here for the going to the President of Switzerland. His name is Ignacio Cassis. And we'll be delivering that letter here today.
We're out front here because this is where the Swiss embassy is. We're speaking to the Swiss government and the people of Switzerland.
Yes, we are here
the vaccine.
In front of the building that houses the Swiss mission to the United Nations, 633 3rd Avenue in Midtown Manhattan. So let's try to deliver this letter. You want to do it?
Mark.
Yep. Hey, Leon. I think we're only going to be able to probably get to the security desk that I can see. Come on, keep me busy waiting. I can't get down.
Okay.
We're here today outside the European Union. I had the World Trade Organization's meeting in Geneva this weekend, where they will be discussing a global approach to ending COVID. And we're here because so far we are not taking a global approach to ending COVID. We've lost over 15 million people around the world to COVID, and these are 15 million preventable deaths. And we're here today because we want the European Union to stop blocking a TRIPS waiver in the WTO. The European Union and 4 other countries are blocking this waiver, which would lift intellectual property protections on vaccines, treatments, and tests. And if we lift those protections and share that technology with the rest of the world, we can end COVID quickly, and we can end COVID for everyone. Not just the wealthy nations, but for everyone. And we've learned over the past 2+ years that this pandemic does not end for any of us until it ends for all of us. And so we're here outside, we're here today presenting this letter to the European Union with the people of the world, asking for a truly global approach to ending this pandemic. We're asking you to vaccinate the world. We're here, we're directly impacted. We've been here for over 2 years now, making these speeches, doing these actions, and I think we're all pretty sick of it. We don't want to do this any longer. And so we're asking you to vaccinate the world and end this pandemic for everyone. Free the vaccine! Vaccinate the world! 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 Thank you. We're now going to be visiting the other countries that are also blocking the TRIPS waiver. Thank you, everybody.
Take a few photos here.
COVID monopolies. This Sunday on June 12th, there's going to be the World Trade Organization ministerial meeting where they will discuss, among other things, waiving the monopolies for COVID vaccines and technologies. Wealthy countries like the UK have been blocking access to COVID vaccines in low and middle income countries. We say no more vaccine blocking!
No more vaccine blocking! No more vaccine blocking!
Other countries like Germany, the United States, and other wealthy countries have done nothing to expedite the process of getting people all over the world vaccinated. And we're out here to say shame!
Shame!
Shame on wealthy countries for blocking vaccine access. We could be ending the COVID pandemic, but instead we are perpetuating it by letting countries like the UK block access to COVID vaccines. What was the chant? End COVID now! Vaccinate the world! End COVID now! Vaccinate the world! End COVID now! Vaccinate the world! End COVID now! Vaccinate the world!
To demand that Germany take an aggressive stance, because we have not seen any stance about breaking the patents and ending COVID monopolies so that we can vaccinate the world. I am here with a family member that died early in the pandemic, over 2 years ago, and I'm furious that the US and other wealthy nations are not taking any type of stand to end COVID monopolies everywhere. We have been fighting this fight for over a year, I think over 2 years now, and we have been waiting patiently. We have been demanding that EU nations and wealthy nations take an aggressive stance so we can end COVID monopolies and vaccinate the world. So we're here to deliver a letter to the German mission to demand that they take this seriously. The World Trade Organization is meeting this Sunday, starting this Sunday, to discuss plans about ending COVID globally. But we cannot end COVID globally unless we end pandemic profiteering and we end vaccine apartheid. So we're here to deliver these demands. We want the German mission and the country of Germany to take vaccine apartheid seriously. If we can't end COVID for anyone unless we end COVID for everyone.
That's right. We had hoped that there would be a change in the German policy with the new German government. Angela Merkel had sided with the vaccine companies against the interests of the German people and the people of the world by continuing to block the TRIPS waiver. We had hoped a more progressive German government, democratically elected in Germany, would take a more progressive stand as part of their coalition and change their vote in the World Trade Organization and change their behind-the-scenes lobbying at the World Trade Organization. And we are calling on the current, new, allegedly more progressive German government to stop following the conservative stance and move against corporate profiteering and for people being vaccinated worldwide.
Thank you. So free the vaccine! Vaccinate the world! Free the vaccine! Vaccinate the world! Free the vaccine! Vaccinate the world!
To the United Nations because our government is not taking an active role in world bodies to end the pandemic as fast as possible. Instead, it claims to be playing a behind-the-scenes role, but for 2 years now, nothing has happened to make vaccines and treatments and tests available to everyone, everywhere in the world. Because we know that unless everyone is safe, none of us is safe during this pandemic. And if we don't end the pandemic everywhere, it isn't over anywhere. Right now our government is rushing forward with a plan to just test and treat here in the United States and to pretend that the pandemic is now endemic. But we know the pandemic is still raging in other parts of the world. And unless we end the pandemic everywhere, we are not going to be safe. So we're here today to deliver a letter to President Biden by way of Ambassador Thomas Greenfield. We'll be leaving a letter here. It's one of 5 letters we've been delivering today to the UN missions of Switzerland, the European Union, the United Kingdom, and Germany. And we're ending our march from mission to mission here at the United States mission. So what we need is the U.S. to step forward with strong leadership at the World Trade Organization meeting that starts in Geneva this Sunday. And we need the United States to keep its promise that it will support international intellectual property waivers for COVID-19 vaccines. And we need to add to that promise tests and treatments, because vaccines alone are not going to end this pandemic. It's all 3 together: tests, treatments, and vaccines. And we need the United States to step forward and provide that leadership. If the U.S. does step forward, these waivers will happen. But President Biden needs to keep his promise and to build on his promise of a year ago, so that vaccines and tests and treatments are immediately available everywhere around the world, so we can end this pandemic once and for all. So, end COVID monopolies, vaccinate the world. 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 We need the U.S. and these nations to stop standing up for the profiteering of Big Pharma and instead stand up for global public health. Thank you for joining us today.